So I chose to do a Switch adapted toy. This was my first time making this project, and it was suggested to me to use a plush toy versus any other device just because it's easier to learn on. So the materials I needed, first I bought my toy at Walmart. I bought a Switch adapter from Etsy. I needed 24 gauge dual speaker wires, which I purchased from Amazon. And from Amazon I also ordered my 3.5 millimeter mono inline jack. And I used electrical tape. The tools I required were a soldering iron, wire strippers, and I used a seam ripper and needle and thread. So from the videos I watched, many of the videos suggested finding and placing the wires at the switch in the arm, but I did not want to do this because I wanted a child to be able to interact and play and see the toy without the wire in the way. So I chose to do this through the battery in the back. I initially pulled out the battery, used my seam rippers to find, open it up and pull the wires out. So what I found was there were 4 different wires. Many of the videos of the toys they did this with only had 2. So I was a little concerned on which 2 wires to cut of the 4. So what I did was I went back to my arm where the switch was in here, and I ripped open the seams with my seam ripper and found the 2 wires, which happened to be the 2 smaller wires. So next what I did was I cut the wires and used the wire strippers to strip about 1/4 to 1/2 inch off of both the wire for the toy and the speaker wire. I then wrapped it, then I soldered it with my soldering iron to connect the 2, and then I wrapped it in the electrical tape just to make sure they would stay together and nothing would happen. Once I did that, I completed the other 2 wires, soldering them together, wrapping them in the tape. And the next part was putting together the mono inline jack with the wire. So next I threaded the wire through the black cap of the mono inline jack. I soldered together the 1 wire to the tip up here. There's a little hole, and then I soldered the other wire to a hole on this side. It was similar to this. It did not matter which wire went to which part. The main thing was that the 2 wires could not touch, so I wrapped the bottom one in electrical tape. If they were to touch, the circuit would continuously run and the toy would never shut off. So once you know that those are secure, I threaded it back through the cap, screwed it together, and then we tested it out. It was actually very easy. The most trouble I had was purchasing some of these. I had to do it off the internet, and then figuring out which 2 wires to cut. Otherwise, this was a very easy project. So I adapted this toy so that kids with disabilities are able to play with the toy if they don't have the skills to push the button like you would normally turn it on. So, I know Carson doesn't have a disability, but as a baby, he might want to interact with it and he wouldn't be able to touch the button. So, instead, he gets to just touch this button. Good job, buddy.
Whoa.
Can you do it again? Ready? Good job.